You're watching 13 WHAM ABC. And this is 13 WHAM News at 6.
We continue to follow the breaking news of this day. A wind gust measured at 81 miles per hour today. This windstorm has brought down trees, knocked over semis, and as you see there, toppled power lines. Good evening. Hurricane-force winds causing significant damage across the area. A state of emergency now in effect for the town of Greece. The winds are the likely culprit in a train derailment in Batavia. And now more than 120,000 utility customers across the region are without power. A serious situation that's not over yet. Glenn Johnson here now to tell us how much longer we can expect these high winds to last. Glenn?
Yeah, Doug, you know, these winds were, well, the last time we had this kind of strong wind, you got to go back almost 20 years in Rochester. I just wanted to show you a sampling of some of the damage reports that we have across western New York here and go in for a closer look through Monroe County. And you can see this is very widespread across western New York. Easily lots of trees and power lines going down because of this wind speed. Take a look at it. The National Weather Service, we had a wind speed of 81 miles an hour that occurred at 1:35 this afternoon. The high wind warning continues up until 10 o'clock. Now, on the positive side of this, the winds are starting to ratchet down, and we think this trend is going to continue. We're not talking about calm winds. It's still going to be very gusty as we go through the overnight, but at least in terms of significant damaging winds, that is no longer going to be a factor as far as we see it. So what you know, right? Obviously, stay away from the trees and the power lines. Some of these trees still could be weakened. They still could come down in some areas. Intersections where we have no power, obviously the four-way stop, that's a problem. Winds will exceed 50 miles per hour for another 1 to 2 hours, and I think the winds start to finally taper down well after sunset. Coming up, we're going to show you why we had such extreme wind, and we're also going to show you a return to rough winter weather. It's coming up.
Yeah, that's a concern, Glenn, especially as the temperatures get colder for all the folks who are without power still. We mentioned Greece among the worst hit areas today. We have images from Arcadia High School where there is some damage to the roof there. And we're going to head over to 13 WHAM's Jim Madalinsky near the intersection of Latta and Long Pond Road, where several utility poles are down in the road. Jim?
Doug, I know Glenn said this is about to start ratcheting down, but we've had some of the strongest gusts we've had in the time we've been out here just in the last 5 minutes or so, really kind of pushing us around here. This is the result of some of the earlier wind we saw here in Greece. We had 5 major utility poles come down here on Long Pond Road. This stretch between Latta and Northwood Drive is closed off as we speak. And as you can see, there are no crews here working because it's still not safe for crews to be out working to repair any of this damage. So it is going to be a long haul for crews in Greece. 16,000 people at last update in this area are without power. We talked to the Greece town supervisor. He told us there are several points up and down North Greece Road where there is a lot of damage throughout this area. Also, we're to the point now where there's not enough police officers or police vehicles to cover these spots. Cops are hopping into DPW trucks to help cover some of these areas and direct traffic to make sure people can get home safely. Again, a state of emergency. If you don't need to be out here in Greece, stay inside. This is what it looks like in a lot of this area, and it's going to be a long process, not just tonight, but for the days to come as they work to put power back, restore power back here. We talked to one man here who was over at the Wegmans next door just trying to stock up. He said damage in his neighborhood is pretty widespread as well.
I said the above-ground pool behind my house collapsed, and every other roof in my track is missing like at least 40 shingles.
Wow.
So yeah, it's going to be quite a cleanup job next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a small taste of what we're seeing throughout the Greece area. We're hoping to talk with Supervisor Rylick soon kind of about what the process is moving forward and what it means for a lot of people here in Greece. But for now, it's just a matter of being patient and giving time for these winds to die down so crews can get to work and help get power back for a lot of the people living in this area. For now, we're live in Greece. Jim MADALINSKY, 13 WHAM News.
All right, Jim, thanks so much. We mentioned the Greece Arcadia damage. The district now saying it might be till 7:30 tonight before they have an answer about when that school is going to be ready to accept students again. Cheryl Donalfo, by the way, the county executive, about to give an update as well. We'll take that live in just a few minutes. Some of the first reports of damage came from Brighton, where more than a dozen utility poles came down. CARLET, Claire, live now from Winton Road tonight. CARLET?
Doug, actually RG&E crews just arrived on scene to assess the damage here, but I want to show you some of that damage. We actually have a transformer that is lying in the road, and what's left of the attached pole is rocking against electrical wires that RG&E tells me are live and active. Today's high gust winds snapped about a dozen utility poles here on Winton Road in half, causing them to topple over into the street. Electrical wires exposed, many of them dangling and swinging in the balance. Sometimes parts of those wires were sparking and popping off, neighbors were telling me. The wires also blocked several entrances to businesses along this stretch, making it difficult for them to get in and out of work. It also made it hard for school buses to drop kids off at the Winton Village apartment complex just down the road.
Because of the outage, my phone is dead, and if they were trying to call me to let me know to pick them up from another location, I would have no way of knowing, and that's a little concerning. Something like this, there should be kind of like a plan in place, so we know that, hey, if the kids can't come down this way or down a certain street, you can always pick them at this location.
So we just kind of knocked the doors and we're telling people, you know, kind of be aware there's no power, obviously, you know, move your car, stay inside, bring anything in that's outside that could blow away.
I'm also told the shingles on the Winton Village apartment complex building were blown off, many of those. But they are also telling those people to hold on to items that are outside to make sure that those don't blow away. At this time, Winton Road remains closed between Jefferson Road and Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road.
Right.
Live in Brighton, CARLET, CLEARE, 13 WHAM News.
All right, and you are, I know viewers are going to wonder, a safe distance from those live wires that you can see in the background there. Obviously, you don't go anywhere near those. The story now from Irondequoit, where there's a lot of damage. One example of that, Newport Road near the bay. A tree has fallen on a house there, and Jen Lee can tell us just how bad the damage is. Jen?
Doug, it's just incredible. The wind completely uprooted this tree. You can see it collapsed right down on this home in Irondequoit here. I mean, the damage is just unreal. It completely destroyed the front part of this home, and you could actually see the tree was actually exposed up from there, and this is actually the whole bottom part of the tree that was underground. Well, the good news in all of this, I spoke with the homeowner and his family. They say no one was home, everyone is safe. Actually, they had a dog that was in the basement. She's also doing well. They have her calming down now, but they say that that's really what they were most concerned about, everyone's safety. And they say that neighbors here have been stopping over and just offering up their homes for the night in case they needed a place to stay. So they're just trying to look on the brighter side of things right now, but you can just see the damage is just incredible. They're waiting for insurance to show up just to get an assessment of what the damage is, get a value of the damage here. But just looking at incredible amounts of damage due to high winds in Irondequoit. We'll bring you more updates on the damage that we are seeing later tonight. Reporting live in Irondequoit, Jennifer Lee, 13 WHAM News.
Yeah, I thank you, Jennifer. Insurance adjuster is going to be very busy, and this doesn't happen very often. The high winds likely to blame for a CSX freight train derailment in Batavia today. 13 WHAM's Samantha Miles joins us from that scene. Anybody hurt when that train came off the tracks today, Samantha?
So the good news is no one injured in this train derailment. So we're at Batavia wastewater management plant, and the high winds. What you're looking at behind me is open space, high winds where this train derailed, and this is an area we're being told is very dangerous with these high winds that are at hurricane level. The Genesee Sheriff's Office is reporting that this train going from Chicago to Montreal, Quebec, it was going about 55 miles an hour when the cars tipped and the train went into lockdown. CSX is investigating this as wind is a factor, and the sheriff is calling this wind fierce out here. Now, we do know 12 cars were derailed. We are being told 29 cars total on this. These 12 cars that were derailed in the middle of the train. The cars just stacked on top of each other, and then several cars really tipping off of the track. Some of these were carrying shipping containers, different items, some toiletries, also some canned goods. And so we know that there is some corn spilled in the area. Now, they say it could be hours before this is up and running. 2 people on board, engineer and conductor. As I said, no injuries reported, no reports of leaks or spills. So we will be tracking this as they investigate. Reporting live in Batavia, 13 WHAM News, I'm Samantha Miles.